You will start acting exactly like the person someone else already decided you are, and you won't even notice it happening. Think about the coach who benched you once and you never quite got your swagger back on that field again. Or the teacher who called you the smart one in 3rd grade, and somehow you kept living up to it for the next 10 years, raising your hand faster, studying harder, because some part of you decided that label was now your job to protect. Or the manager who introduced you as our rising star in a meeting, and you suddenly started talking like one, standing straighter, speaking up in meetings you used to sit quietly through. That's not coincidence. That's a documented psychological phenomenon called the Pygmalion Effect, named after the myth of a sculptor who fell in love with a statue he carved. And it was formally identified by researchers Robert Rosenthal and Lenore Jacobson back in 1968. But the story actually starts a few years earlier, in 1963, with something weirder than classrooms: rats. Rosenthal, working with a colleague named Kermit Fode, handed psychology students a batch of ordinary lab rats and split them into 2 groups. One group was told their rats had been specially bred to be maze-bright. The other group was told theirs were maze-dull. In reality, every rat came from the exact same litter, picked at random. 0 genetic difference. But by the end of the experiment, the maze-bright rats were running the mazes faster and with fewer errors than the maze-dull ones, a measurable performance gap between animals that were biologically identical. The only thing that changed was how the students handled them. The ones told they had smart rats held them more often, handled them more gently, gave them more chances to succeed, and unconsciously spent more time coaxing them through tricky turns instead of giving up on them. The label didn't describe the rat. It built the rat's environment. Have you ever watched a sibling or coworker get labeled the talented one early on and get handed more patience, more practice, more second chances, while everyone else got quietly written off before they even started? Now take that same mechanism and put it inside a real elementary school. In 1968, Rosenthal and Jacobson ran IQ tests on students at a school they nicknamed Oak School, then told teachers that roughly 20% of the kids, chosen completely at random, with no relationship to their actual scores, had tested as academic bloomers about to intellectually take off that year. The teachers had no idea it was random. As far as they knew, this was hard scientific data. By the end of the school year, those randomly picked bloomers had gained significantly more IQ points than their classmates. In some 1st and 2nd grade classrooms, over 20 points more, a gap enormous enough to change which track a kid got placed on for years afterward. Nothing about those kids was actually different going in. What was different was how the teachers treated them. More eye contact, more encouragement, more time given to sit with a hard question instead of moving on, more benefit of the doubt when they got something wrong, even more warmth in their tone of voice without the teachers ever consciously deciding to change it. Have you ever felt sharper, funnier, more capable around one specific person, not because you actually changed, but because they clearly expected good things from you and kept giving you room to prove it? Here's why your brain does this. Expectation isn't just a private thought sitting quietly in your head. It leaks out through 100 tiny behavioral signals you don't consciously control. How long you hold eye contact, how patient your tone is, whether you repeat a question gently or just move on and mentally write someone off. The person on the receiving end picks up those signals, often without realizing it, and unconsciously recalibrates their own effort and confidence to match what's being projected onto them, which then produces the exact outcome you originally expected, closing the loop and quietly convincing you your first judgment was right all along, even though you basically built it yourself, brick by brick, without meaning to. Evolutionarily, this made a lot of sense. In small tribes where survival depended on quickly sorting who was capable and who wasn't, who to trust with the hunt, who to protect near the fire, who was worth the effort of teaching a skill to fast snap judgments about ability, were a useful shortcut that saved time, energy, and risk. The problem is that shortcut never came with an off switch, and now it runs constantly on strangers, coworkers, students, and even your own kids, based on almost nothing at all. A first impression, a rumor, a random test score, a bad first meeting, and it quietly manufactures the very reality it assumed was already true. So here's the practical version. Next time you catch yourself thinking, this person's going to struggle, or this one's a natural, run a 2-second gut check before you act on it. Would I treat this person exactly the same way right now if I expected the complete opposite from them? If the honest answer is no, you're not neutrally observing their potential anymore. You're actively building it, or quietly capping it in real time, through 1,000 tiny signals you're not even aware you're sending. That one question is enough to catch the invisible labels you're handing out without realizing it, to your kids, your team, your partner, and sometimes even to yourself. So tell me, was there a label, good or bad, that someone pinned on you early that ended up shaping who you actually became? Comment bloomer below and tell me what it was.